Let's get it there.
Hey guys, Furum here, and today I'm going to be showing you me winning the Honda Civic Type R and then testing it in multiplayer. So this car is interesting in that it actually has the highest ending rank of any car in Class C, but it isn't as good as the CLA or Sparta because those cars are elite and this one is not. So my tuning is 0505 4040 for multiplayer, and this gives me a rank of 1401. So here is the grand finale, and I actually managed to get a perfect start, which does not happen very often since it is kind of difficult to hit in the green or blue areas. Although interestingly enough, in this championship it was a lot easier than in previous ones, some of which were really touchy and extremely hard to get even good. So this was a nice change. All of the main time attacks were able to be completed with this tuning fairly easily. I'm not sure about the secondary ones, but you can win the car with this tuning without spending tokens. So we have completed the final grand finale, which was on Rio, and we will get our final 7 blueprint cards. And we have now won the Honda Civic Type R. And unfortunately, I did not have space in my inventory, so I cleared up some space and then opened these, and we will see 16 out of 16. So even though the car is not really all that useful and is really not that good in multiplayer, as you will see, I decided to go for it to make a video about it for you guys. And when the assembly completed, I now had my 144th car. I'm getting pretty close to 150. I'm wondering what my 150th car will be. Hopefully better than my 100th car, which was the Skyclagetti. So this car's mastery rewards are one of the most worth it things in it. It gives 2 champion kit boxes as well as a whole lot of licenses. Those 2 boxes together are worth 1,900 tokens, and they give you 60 cards total. So if you get the car for nothing else, get it for those. So of course the MP48, which is the fastest accelerating car in the game, speeds right past me at the beginning, but I do manage to start it quicker than the Cigaris and Camaro. This car has quite good acceleration, even with 0 acceleration upgrades. And I'm catching up to this MP48, but then the Camaro decided not to go for him and to go for me instead. I'm not exactly sure why, because the MP48 is a much better multiplayer car than this Civic. But as you will see in this race, the MP48 isn't all that much better after all. So the car directly behind us is a Cigaris who is now falling away slightly because of its bad drifting on these turns, which this car can take fairly well. While its drifting is not the greatest, it is certainly good enough to get around most corners without hitting the sides or causing much of a slowdown. So that Camaro, being a 1477, as you'll see at the end of the race, is a good 60 miles per hour faster than me. Yes, 60. That is how bad this car is in multiplayer. While it can beat mediocre cars, it really struggles and cannot compete pretty much with Camaros. Cigarises you can sometimes compete with, and MP48s as well, because, well, that Cigaris is behind me, and the MP48 I am ever so slowly catching up to. So with the Hot Wheels update dropping in around a week or so at the time of this recording, what do you guys think about it? I personally am quite excited for it, because 2 of the Hot Wheels cars look like they will be quite good when multiplayer tuned, and one of the new real cars being added, the Renault Trezor, has extremely good acceleration and a low starting rank, so it looks like it could be very good in multiplayer as well. And it could possibly be the C-Class King on short tracks when max pro'd. I am not certain of this, of course, but because of its very good acceleration, it looks like it very well could be. Another new car in the Hot Wheels update was released recently by Gameloft. It is the Pagani Huayra Bc. Yet another reskin of a car we already have in the game. Gameloft seems to like doing that. With a starting rank of 1565 and an ending rank of 1800, it is most certainly not going to be the new S-Class King, nor will it be all that great in multiplayer. So I'm not expecting it to be all that great at all, but of course I will be going for it, as well as all of the other cars in the Hot Wheels update, so I can hopefully give you guys a good idea of how they perform and whether or not they're worth going for. Sometime soon I will probably be making a video about the new cars and their stats and my opinions about them. So now I have a little battle with this MP48, who is approximately the same speed as me, and I just barely managed to pass him just in time to finish second ahead of him. So we have lost to a 1477 triple boosted Camaro, but we have beaten MP48 and Cigaris, who weren't boosted but were higher ranked. If they were boosted, I would have lost for certain. So now we have a race on French Guiana against another Civic Type R, a Camaro, a Cigaris, and a Homage. Yeah, there is a lot of tough competition around this rank, especially with me being in Champion League and getting paired with most Champion League players who are mostly in Camaros. So, yeah. And just like that, the Camaro and the Homage have flown past even with my much better acceleration because they are higher than me and they have much better speed. So yes, I would not recommend using this car in multiplayer as a multiplayer car. It'd be best to just max pro it and use it as a C-Class car in events if you don't have the Sparta or CLA. It is very close to the Alpine in terms of performance, except for the fact that this car doesn't drift nearly as well as the Alpine does, so that puts it below that car as well. So the Camaro and the Homage are long gone, and the car directly behind me is a Cigaris. Now, he was catching up pretty fast because he was boosted, and boosted Cigarises around this rank are going to be at least 20 miles per hour faster than me. So it's a very good thing that this is just a one-lap race, which, by the way, I picked in every single race because that's the only way it has any chance at all against Cigarises and Camaros and things like that, and I have managed to beat that Cigaris, who was at a lower rank of 1368 and double boosted. And I realized I helped that Camaro just above me reach Champion League, so yay! Now for our next race, which is on Alps against the same Homage that we saw last time. So this time I decided, okay, it's one lap on Alps. If I knock down him at the beginning because I do start up quicker, maybe I have a chance to come in first? Well, let's just say it didn't turn out quite that way that I planned. I am, however, still beating a Cigaris and a Holden Coupe as well. So how long do you guys think it will be before this Homage catches up to me? Well, you can see him now passing the Holden Coupe, which is the one directly behind me, knockdowning him, and I figured I would just get out of his way and let him pass. So I took the left route, because I was pretty sure he was going to try to knock down me. Number one, since I knocked him down at the beginning, and number two, because he knocked down that other Cigaris, and so he seems to be a pretty aggressive driver. Now this Holden Coupe, which is directly behind me, is around the same rank as I have. He's a 1406 and while the Holden Coupe is better around a rank of 1490, he's still faster than me at this rank, because this car's speed of 247 miles per hour is just not very impressive for this rank at all. So the Homage that we lost to was at a rank of 1459, triple boosted, of course bad matchmaking, but we beat a 1406 Holden Coupe and a 1377 Cigaris, who lost to a Servolt. I'm not exactly sure how that happened. So in this race on Patagonia, we have 3 Camaros and a Cigaris. I'm pretty sure you guys already know how this race is going to go. Originally, when the Civic came out, I wondered, along with quite a few other people, why they had chosen to put this model in the game instead of the new 2018 one. Well, apparently this car had been on a car poll that had been made a long time ago, and this was the model that existed at the time when that poll was done. So they added it instead of going for the new one, just in case anybody was wondering about that. So the Cigaris and Camaro have passed me, and now I have another Camaro on my tail who has passed me as well. Just one Camaro left to go behind us. But interestingly enough, even though that Camaro back there is at a rank of 1380, which is slightly lower than me, he wasn't actually any faster than me, so I can only assume that he mistuned, because a well-tuned Camaro 100 ranks below this car would still be faster than this car. Speaking of Camaros, mine is at a rank of 1670 right now. I upgraded a bit. It has a tune of 5504, 5555, and I will hopefully be making a video about that fairly soon. So now we are coming up to the second lap, and pretty much all that happened there was the other ones got farther and farther ahead, but this Camaro behind me never managed to pass me. And so because he was in last, he decided to leave the race, which is a very good thing to do if you're in last. You will almost always lose more points coming in last than you would if you would leave the race. Because you remember that Cigaris back there on Alps that lost to that Servolt? He came in 5th place last and lost 13 points. He was in Pro League. If he had bailed, even if he had already bailed twice before, he would have only gone down 10. So in this race, we got beat by a 1494 triple boosted Camaro, a 1497 Camaro, and a 1390 Cigaris. We did manage to beat a 1380 Camaro, however. This race's matchmaking was quite bad. So you may be wondering, is it possible for this car to get first in a race? Yes, it most certainly is, if your competition is not very good. In this race, I am up against a Felino, which is not a good multiplayer car, period, and an AC and a Rinspeed Cezanne, which can actually be very good multiplayer cars. And they must just not have been tuned right, because they would be faster than me at this rank. Because the AC can reach 250 miles per hour at a rank of 1323, and the Rinspeed Cezanne can reach 250 miles per hour at a rank just below 1400. And I have made multiplayer videos on both of those cars, by the way, if you would like to check them out. So now it's time for me to give my general review of this car. It is worth it to get, if for nothing else, for the champion kit boxes in Mastery, and if you have no other high C-Class car, well, this was a fairly easy championship, so it should be fairly easy for you to get. I would not recommend using it in multiplayer, as I said earlier in this video, because even though I am in first in this race, this is not the typical competition you'll come up against at this rank. You'll mostly see Camaros and stuff, as were in the previous races, and you have pretty much no chance against them. Oh, and by the way, I could not make this car purple, so I made it red instead, which is usually my second choice of color, and blue is usually third, because blue and red make purple. If you've been following my channel for any considerable length of time now, you've probably realized that purple is my favorite color, and I have a Google Plus community called the Purple Team, which is mainly a place where people can just talk together about Asphalt 8 and share screenshots, ask for advice, stuff like that, and it's open for anyone to join. So thank you all for watching. Please like the video if you enjoyed it, and consider subscribing for more Asphalt 8 videos. And I will see you in the next one. Goodbye!